Hello, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to talk about the Ottoman Empire, the early Ottoman Empire history, and we're going to focus on the Ottoman Empire, how it started, and how it. I won't say the ended. I will talk about up to the 14th century when Janissary, which is a formidable force that came into power. So, Ottoman Empire. I'm going to focus in important stuff today. We're going to focus and fix the light. Let's see, it's very darkened. So we're going to focus on the early Ottoman Empire. First thing we're going to focus on is Kai. What is Kai? Now, regarding Kai, they are a group of people who came from Central Asia. What is Central Asia? Let's look for Central Asia. Central Asia is this part of the world, which is Kazakhstan, Kyrgyzstan, Turkmenistan. So the Ottoman Empire, they have came from this region. The Turks have came from this region and moved slowly from Iran to the Middle East, all the way to modern day Turkey. And these band of nomadic people are people who move from one region to the other region. And these nomadic people were known as Kai. And Kai have became, which is the next thing, Ghazi. Ghazi means the Islamic warrior who go to Darul Harb, or the abode of war, and fight in that part of the region. Abode of war, that means lands which is not conquered by the Islamic Empire, is called Darul Harb. And Ghazis are the people who go there and fight. So Kais were again the people who came from Central Asia and tried to conquer more and more land for plunder and getting booties and money from the war. And the Kais, the people who came from Central Asia, became Ghazis, or Islamic holy warriors. One of the Kai member was known as Osman. The word Ottoman actually came from the Arabic word Uthman. The Venetians, which is modern day in Italy, Venice, if you can see in the map over here. So here's Italy, you have. Venice is a very famous island, had ruled many parts of the world in Italy. Venetians could not pronounce the word Uthman, so what they used to pronounce it as Ottoman. And from that pronunciation, from Uthman to Ottoman, comes the Ottoman Empire. So one of the Ghazis named Uthman had a dream, the famous dream of Ottoman or Osman. And in that dream, he had seen that a branch of tree have fallen into his testicles, and from that testicles three swords have came out, and that sword have conquered the famous city of Constantinople, which is modern day Istanbul. Osman went to a religious priest and said about this dream, and the interpretation of the dream of Osman was that the future generation or the progeny of Osman will conquer Constantinople. And that's why Osman became a very renowned person in his region, because it is believed from his generation the rulers of Constantinople will come. So the leader, who were known as Seljuk Turks, had basically allowed their princess to marry with Osman, the founder of the Ottoman Empire. And from there comes the story, which is part 4, the mercenaries in Eastern Europe. Now Osman, with his army, his nomadic army, or the Ghazis, the Islamic warrior, were taken as mercenaries in Eastern Europe. What is mercenary? The word mercenary over here. Mercenary basically means that you get paid and you fight for a leader or a ruler. So in other words, they are paid soldier, mercenary. So Osman and his band was taken into the princes of Eastern Europe. You can see over here, Eastern Europe, Bulgaria, modern Albania, Greece, Romania. This princess had hired the mercenaries of Osman, and Osman's mercenaries, or Osman's army, had huge amount of success, and they decided that if they can join the armies of Eastern European princes and win territories, why they cannot join themselves as a band and take over Eastern Europe. And what happened was Osman and his mercenaries had decided to took over the Eastern Europe. So this part of Europe was taken by Osman's mercenary or his army. Simultaneously, they were also taking these lands over here. You can see over here in Turkey, which is known as Anatolia. These lands were taken by Osman's or Ottoman's mercenary. So Anatolia was Darul Harb, or the abode of war. So we were talking about the mercenaries in Eastern Europe, and they have taken over Eastern Europe, which we showed you in map in a few minutes ago, and Anatolia. Now the fourth topic, actually the fifth topic, we're going to talk about Byzantine Empire. We talk about the Byzantine Empire. We're going to talk about the weakened Constantinople army, and we're going to talk about the Akratites. So Byzantine Empire, we're going to talk about the weakened Constantinople, and we're going to talk about Akrotite. Now Byzantine Empire, we're going to show you in the map the Byzantine Empire. Is this empire over here in Eastern Europe. You can see over here in Eastern Europe, Byzantine Empire. They were an empire that came out during the 300 or 400 BC AD. It was the Eastern Roman Empire. However, during the 13th century, Byzantine Empire became weakened. Now the reason the Byzantine Empire became weakened is because of two main reasons. One main reason I can tell you is that during the Crusade, the Catholic Europe, or the Western Europe, and see over here the map, the Western Europe, they came to Constantinople to defend the Orthodox Christians from the hands of the Ottoman or the Turkic nomadic Ghazis. We talked about it a few minutes ago. Ghazis, the Islamic warrior. And what happened when they came to Constantinople, instead of defending the Orthodox Christians from the hand of the Ghazis, what the Catholic Crusaders had done was that they'd taken over their properties, their money, their women, their goods. So that plunder by the Catholic West in Orthodox Constantinople weakened the the city of Constantinople and Byzantine Empire. And after 13th century, Byzantine Empire cannot really get up as a strong empire. They were very weakened. The second reason that Byzantine Empire had been weakened is this Akrotite. Akrotites were the border guards of Byzantine Empire, and they fought anyone who come in the border of the Byzantine Empire. Now, Akrotites, again, they were mercenaries like the Ottoman Empire, or the Osman's band, but they were Christians. So there's affiliations of Ottoman Empire towards, there's an affiliation of Akrotite towards the Byzantine Empire. Initially, what happened that Akrotites, or the border guards, they got money, tax exemption from the Byzantine Empire, and the Akrotites, they also got lands where they used to do farming and other type of goods. What happened after 13th century when Byzantine Empire became weak economically, they had stopped giving the tax exemptions and the lands to the Akrotite soldiers. So in that case, what happens, Akrotite border guards became very angry, and they stopped defending the borders of Constantinople. And when you stop defending the borders of your land, what happens, your land start to decrease, because the opposition soldiers, they come into your land and take over all your booties and all your goods and all your treasury. So that was one of the main reasons why the Byzantine Empire became weak during the 13th century. Now, during the 14th century, we're going to be doing one more thing over here. We're going to be erasing this portion of Kai. I'm going to talk about a leader, a very famous leader the Ottomans had. His name was Salim. His name was, Mehmed. I'm going to put... so I'm going to put the name of Mehmed. He was known as Mehmed the Conqueror. At the age of 13, this guy Mehmed became the king, the emperor of Ottoman Empire. Mehmed. So in 1453, we're going to jump directly 1453. What happened in 1453 was Mehmed had decided to invade Constantinople. Now remember, during 1453, where is it? Byzantine Empire was fighting two-front war. This is Istanbul, modern day. It was known as Constantinople. Byzantine Empire was facing two-front war. One was from here, from Anatolia, and the other portion they were fighting war was from here, Bulgaria. So you can see they were attacked from both sides of the border. From Anatolia and from Turkey, which you see in modern day Turkey, and from Eastern Europe, from Bulgaria. So they were in disadvantage, the Byzantine Empire. They were very much in disadvantage because they were taken down from both sides by Mehmed the Conqueror in 1453. And what happened is that in 1453, Mehmed had attacked Constantinople, 1453, and the reason he got a victory is because he had a superior army, number one, and number two, Akrotite, that we talked about a few minutes ago, Akrotite, the border guard, they were able to get bribe from the Ottoman Empire, and they left their post when they need to defend the Byzantine Empire. Also, another reason is Venice, which was a Christian empire. They were very advanced in selling the muskets and cannons. So Byzantine Empire wanted to buy cannons, but they could not buy cannons because they don't had enough money. Remember, we talked about the 13th century, the economy was broken down. So what happened, Ottoman Empire decided to buy the cannons from the Venetian Empire. And those advanced cannon was help the Ottoman Empire to break down the forts of the Constantinople. And in 1453, after the destruction of the fort of the Byzantine Empire, Constantine, I think so it was Constantine 13 or 11, he had been taken over by the Ottoman Empire. And that was the end of the Byzantine Empire in 1453. And Mehmed have taken over the city of Constantinople. So with this 1453 story, I will end about the Ottoman Empire. We're not going to talk about Janissaries or Dev Sharme, but I have gave you the introduction of the Ottoman Empire, how it started, and what was the era that they have reached their goal of conquering Constantinople, which was a long ambition of the Ottoman Empire. Thank you for watching. Have a nice day.